Everything you are about to witness is for entertainment purposes only.
Did you notice that the hoodie strings didn't float up? Actually, this space video is fake. In the latest footage released from the Artemis to spacecraft cabin, we can clearly see Christina Koch's hair floating upward, but Victor Glover's hoodie strings are hanging down. Some people have questioned whether the video was actually filmed in a studio. There are 3 details that suggest they really aren't in space. First, in real zero gravity, astronauts can't hold a microphone steady at all. Holding it tightly will only make it float further away. Also, their voices are as clear as if recorded in a studio, without any of the cabin noises you'd expect. Second, deliberately choosing to launch on April 1st was a deliberate space prank. NASA already has a history of filming fake space footage. Back in the Apollo moon landing, the moon rocks were exposed to be Earth volcanic rocks. This time it's just another rerun of the hoax. Third, all the cabin videos are intentionally blurry, and they never show any outside view. You can't see the outline of the moon or the full view of the Earth, only fixed interior angles of the cabin, and they don't even dare to zoom in on the crew's faces.
Have y'all seen the new Cheez-It commercial? Here, I'll show it to you so you don't have to go search for it.
Oh, that is a cheesy little baby. Yummy. What a salty little boy.
So it's a boy?
What? We're living in a dystopia, right? That this isn't real life. This is the Hunger Games. I'm currently watching a simulation. That's what's happening, right? This isn't real life, right? And don't give me the whole, well, she's not actually looking at the baby. She's looking at a Cheez-It floating in front of her face. No, she's picturing a Cheez-It while looking at imaging inside of a mother's womb of a baby. And the way she's talking is really gross on multiple levels. This is not okay, and we should be mad about it.
How can it be proven that we're even at war? How can it be proven that anything that we've seen and heard has actually really taken place?
So let me get this straight. Why are we going around the moon if we supposedly already landed there decades ago? Why is it bad to question NASA, who takes $85 million a day from our taxpayer money for something that isn't even in our interest? While we're at war, while corruption and distractions are happening everywhere. And when I talk about this, people say, well, what does the government gain from lying to us? Your money, your ability to think for yourself, your discernment. It's so funny because people will just say, oh, well, you believe in a sky daddy. You're the crazy one. But they won't bring up the number of scientists who say science and faith go hand in hand, and that there is a design to all of this. They'll bring up Isaac Newton and the Big Bang, but they don't realize that if 2 atoms came together, it would need an outside force to make everything so perfect. That we have everything we need on this rock we call Earth, or the firmament, or whatever. They won't talk about the father of rocket science who had Psalm 19:1 written on his tombstone. I wonder why the astronauts who've been in outer space won't put their hand on the Bible and swear they've been to the moon. They'll talk about history, they'll talk about what they read in books or on TV, while not realizing that history is a lie. Not realizing who wrote the textbooks your kids are reading today. People believe that even though we didn't have cell phones back then, that we went to the moon. But today's mission, we're just going around it. Yeah, sure. But I seen it in person. I saw it on live TV. No, you've seen a rocket curve into orbit. And there isn't consistent footage of showing the spacecraft going to the moon. That's why they use a 2D visualizer. Everything is entertainment, folks. Keep watching the brain rot shows and movies thinking they're here for your best interest. While the same people who say trust the science are the same ones making you sick. Then the food, then telling you you're a speck of dust in a vacuum. And everything is just by chance and nothing matters. And guess what? You've been staring at a show this whole time. What is it going to take for the masses to snap out of it?
See, this is why people question the moon. This is why people question NASA. Because this is a NASA spending apparently billions of dollars, right? Sending people to the moon for the first time in 50 years. And this is what they show us? CGI, right? Showing us a bunch of people in an office somewhere. This is what we're getting. Bro, where is the live feed of space?
People that run the world don't think what they did with Epstein was that bad. Watch this.
They should follow the law, but let's not get our
Look at her face.
twist here.
Yeah, let's not get our knickers in a twist over child. Why are you talking like that? It's insane. Like, it's insane. The Epstein Files is a multinational, multi-generational child and woman sex trafficking ring. So your attitude right now, you're sort of like, well, shucks, devil be God,
They
is
think
just
it's nothing.
horrifying.
So Larry Silverstein took out terrorism insurance on the LA Bank Tower. So stay safe, LA.
Israeli officials have now started to warn Christians in Lebanon not to hide and harbour Muslims in their home amid the invasion of Lebanon. What in the Anne Frank is going on? The more that they do, the more that I see, the more evil I see them inflict on others, the more I question everything I was taught about World War II. Everything. Because what do you mean that so much horror, as reported, has been inflicted upon you and your people, and that victim card was held strong for decades, that you then turn around and become a much worse version?
That clock is not ready yet. It's being worked on by a couple of contractors. When it's ready, we'll do a test.
Listen to what he says.
Low Earth orbit. Can we fly out, rendezvous, and dock to it? Once that's done, then we'll send the entire thing to the moon, and the people will go to the surface. So right now, they can't get to the surface because there's no way to do it. They can go into orbit, a high orbit, but there's no way to get from the ship to the surface and back up again.
When
you hear that?
Send back down, and you're looking at.
Apparently, you can do it in 1968, but we can't do it in 2026.
I'm not making any claims, but please tell me what you think about this.
The crew are on board. If it looks as if they're in danger, they get out and head down this tube, specially insulated against fire, and zigzagging down not to some point out and away from the rocket, but to an escape room exactly where you'd think it shouldn't be.
Three and a half minutes after they get the warning in the capsule, the crew could be down here in the blast escape room via that 200-foot escape tube, 40 feet below the base of the rocket. They find themselves in a totally rubber room, walls and floors, and they head for safety through a 6-inch steel door. Once they're behind that door, it doesn't matter what comes down this tube behind them.
Then I also see that I have 2 Microsoft Outlooks, and neither one of those are working.
You're telling me we're on the pinnacle of scientific technology, and they're using Outlook? On the moon? It doesn't even work on Earth!
National Space Station, the crew that's up there. It might land wrong, but I'm going to try anyway. This is the first time we're going to send humans to the moon, and we're going to have humans in low Earth orbit. This is the first time we're going to send humans to the moon, and we're going to have humans in low Earth orbit. This is the first time we're going to send humans to the moon, and we're going to have humans in low Earth orbit.
So Donald Trump got on stage last night and said, we can't afford daycare or Medicaid. We're funding wars. Sir, didn't you run on lowering costs for Americans, no new wars, and finding a better healthcare plan to replace the Affordable Care Act? Oh, and while you mentioned Israel 6 times last night, you left out the part where we pay them billions of dollars in aid every year, and they give their citizens free health care and child care. Meanwhile, you're telling the American people that even though it comes out of our paycheck every month, we can't afford Medicaid for Americans. Oh, and another thing. If we stop federal funding for Medicaid and transfer it to the states, like you were suggesting, the average American taxpayer, you and I, would be paying $3,000 to $5,000 more per year. So just to recap, we can fund wars, we can send billions overseas, yet we can't afford basic needs for Americans at home. Makes sense.
Oh, this is huge. Bro, what are you doing? Bro, light it up. Bro, what the fuck is he doing? Light it up. Jesus Christ. Bro, the tunnel system, what the fuck? What the fuck?
This chicken on the left is American, and the chicken on the right is from Iceland. The American one is washed in chlorine. Put the chicken in water, that is chlorine coming off. In Europe, this is illegal. This is bread I left out for a week. The bread on the left is from Iceland, and the one on the right is from America. The American one contains potassium bromate, a chemical banned in over 160 countries. Bread should not look this fresh after leaving it out for a week.
You know what, I'm surprised this much on the first try because we know, like any little thing, we have to be keeping safety in mind.
That's a screen behind them. That is not, they're not out in the field.
A lot of people, what a wonderful surprise on this Wednesday.
But look at the wind on her hair. I guess they're like, put the fan up close.
And so we can continue to watch.
And that's like a news desk.
Read Victor and Jeremy on the
Of Artemis 2, now bound for the moon. Humanity's next.
Look. Yup, that is exactly what you think it is. A zip line taking the astronauts off of the rocket right before it goes up and flies straight up and then down and lands in the ocean because they're not actually going to space.
Good roll pitch.
Because it's not real like you know it. That zip line took those astronauts straight off. That's why we didn't see them on the live stream at all. We just saw the crappy CGI picture of the rocket flying nowhere. We didn't even see the astronauts in the cockpit. It's ridiculous. If Richard Nixon could call with a landline phone all the way up to the moon in 1969, why can't we have a live stream of them in the cockpit while it was even on the ground? Because that didn't even show up at all. We didn't even see them before they launched on the ground inside the ship at all.
What is that? Where's that going? What is that doing on there? Where are you off to? Excuse me.
What do you mean? How did you not understand what a ethno-colony was? They literally believe that you are cattle and that you were born and raised to be there and die for them. That is quite literally what Zionism is. Dumbass.
I can't tell if this is an April Fool because space isn't real or if they're trying to mentally prepare us for an alien invasion because Project Bluebeam.
I think it may be pitchfork time. I think it may be pitchfork time because Todd Blanche, who is now the acting attorney general since Pam Bondi was fired today, has come out tonight and said, we're done. We're not releasing any more Epstein files and we want to put the whole Epstein saga behind us. They want to move on. Excuse me? Excuse me. First of all, there is a law passed by Congress, signed by the president, that says you have to release all of them, and we know you have not. And secondly, you're telling the victims nothing else is going to happen? What? We all know how many reports are out there that haven't been investigated. We know from the files that we have read that there is credible evidence of multiple crimes, and you're just done? No, sir. No, sir. The American people are not. The American people are not. And you, as the acting attorney general, don't get to decide that the country's done with this. You're going to follow the law, and the people are remembering that we have power. We are remembering what happens when we stand up together and say, enough. And this is it. You have crossed the Rubicon because no, we will not be silenced on this. It's time to get our pitchforks, people. Let's go love our neighbor with our actions.
Are we all just pretending like Matt Gaetz didn't come out and say something about a hybrid breeding program that he was briefed on by a military member? Okay. All right.
They really had to say this right before liftoff today, Artemis 2. Coming up at T-minus 33 seconds, control shifts from the... Just fake it. And what does bro mean we didn't go to the moon? Why is he saying we didn't go to the moon?
This is the first time we're going to send humans to the moon, and we're going to have humans in low Earth orbit. This is the first time we're going to send humans to the moon. This is the first time we're. That is awesome.
Just fake it. Well, here's the new reality we're at. Data centers are going to absorb like 1 trillion gallons of water and tons of electricity. I am firmly convinced at this point that we are in the movie The Arrival, not the new one, but the old one with Charlie Sheen. If you remember this movie was about basically aliens that came to Earth and they took on human form, and then they built these power plants that polluted polluted Earth, right? So that they could terraform it to move here. And now I am firmly convinced that that's what the data centers are. Otherwise, if it was about water cooling, you'd build them in the ocean, right? I'm not kidding you. This isn't even satire. I truly believe that their goal now is to cause as much harm and pain and to waste the planet as much as they can. Like, I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. I think the data centers are here to just burn energy, burn up all the groundwater. Then they can start charging for water. See Nestle CEO, right, who doesn't think water is a human right. And they can just, basically, it's eugenics. Like, I think data centers are eugenics. There, I said it. It's a eugenics program being built in your neighborhood to wipe out your groundwater, to absorb all your energy and make you pay for it. You're literally paying for your own death. That's the world we live in.
And I kind of want people to understand some of the things that we are reading about and things like that. Even some of the out of what's been released are really heinous. But I promise you the other half is worse. And I don't mean a little bit worse, going from risque to naughty. I mean going from really bad to almost unbelievable, and that's just the process of it. The only guardrails to these people's behavior is their imagination. Any experience that they can dream up, they have the resources to purchase that experience. And they do. And a lot of money changes hands through these. And that's...
People keep asking, people keep saying, well, did it end with Jeffrey? Of course it doesn't. No. It's a billions of dollars industry every year.
Right, we're out here in the middle of nowhere in the country in Virginia. Explain to me why a substation has a 50-foot metal wall and enough security cameras to support the damn White House. Got a double airlock, got to get through to get inside of it. I ain't gonna say where it is, but it's in the middle of nowhere in Virginia. I'm just saying, there might be a secret place here for somebody to hide if something happens, and this is going to supply power. They don't even have no wall like this when you go to them big cities.
We've got some major breaking news out of Area 51. A massive fire has broken out inside the base, and we're seeing it live on camera. Late last night, allegedly July 15th, plumes of smoke were spotted rising from within the boundaries of Area 51 in Groom Lake, Nevada. Get this, there's a 24/7 live stream camera set up just outside the perimeter on private property of the back gate entrance near Rachel, Nevada, and they're currently broadcasting the blaze in real time. I'll include their links below so that you can check it out. What we do know is that there is clearly a massive fire. As you can see in the giant plume of smoke, you can also see the wind blowing if you look at the trees, which is definitely not helpful in these types of situations. What we don't know is exactly what's burning inside Area 51. We don't have information on whether any structures are directly affected at this time. Was it a military training gone bad, an accident, or was it something else? Some people of course, are speculating everything from Black Project labs that have blown up to alien tech. But it very well could be dry brush burning on the outside of the perimeter as well. But I'm watching the feed and I'm digging into updates. Follow if you want the latest as this unfolds. This is crazy.
What is this above the moon, baby cakes?
I would like to congratulate everyone on making it this far in the psyop that is America.